Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin, and I am an author and speaker and YouTuber. And I am back with another episode of my Twin Flame story week by week. This is, I believe, episode 7. And I am here in sunny Southern California, bringing this vlog to you pretty soon when the weather gets a little bit more cooperative. I mean, it is a little bit windy today, and you might hear that wind noise. And I don't have an actual wind shield for my phone yet. I've tried to hook up external mics to the iPhone and it doesn't quite work very well. iPhone's very finicky when it comes to like external devices on their phones. So I am coming to you today and just to talk a little bit about my twin flame journey and what's been happening this week. Actually, I believe it's been almost 2 weeks since I posted a vlog. So yeah, oh my goodness. What has happened? So I don't know if you guys viewed my last vlog, which was the 6th episode. I'll post that link right here so you guys can check it out. And I hope you guys are doing well. I certainly am doing much, much better. It's been like a cloud has lifted from above my head. Honestly, it's been like that because I'm sure you guys have felt it. I know because you left comments that you actually felt it, this really heaviness in the energy, a lot of ascension symptoms. And in fact, today I have a little bit of a sniffle. I don't think it's due to anything much than like rapid weather changes. You know, it's going from hot to cold to hot to cold to cold, you know, and that tends to give you a little bit of congestion sometimes. And a lot of lifted energy. Now, since I last posted, a few things have happened. Venus stationed to go direct, Mercury stationed to go direct. There was like that energy that has been lifted from now, you know, Venus is going to be changing signs as well. And then aligning with Mars and kind of playing this dance for the next, starting in March for about a month or so, that like Mars and Venus are going to be dancing together. The runner chaser dynamic of Venus and Mars. So that should be really interesting. So I have felt the energy lifted. The planets will all be direct. And like, it's weird because I have never equated really deep moods to the planetary signs, houses, the astrological aspects of what is going on. But the energy since 2018, 2019, moving into 2020, I guess starting, has been so incredibly intense that I think everybody is feeling it. Whether you're cognizant of it or not, everybody has been feeling it. And I know, especially for the past couple of months, twin flames in general in this collective have been feeling such heavy, crazy energy. And we are kind of, in a way, feeding off of each other's energy, if you will. And so I believe that that is why we are feeling such intensity in the energy. So as for me, I wanted to talk about a little topic today that has been affecting my life. And I don't know if it's been affecting your life, but I want you to put in the comment section below if this is like what you've been experiencing too. And I'm going to call this the cold start. The cold start. Now, I know many of you have had contact from your twin flame, divine masculine, if you are divine feminine. If you are divine masculine, I know some of you have been reaching out to your divine feminines. It's been happening. Whether you see it or not, it's actually been happening. There has been contact, phone calls, meetings, whatever. Like, it's been happening. Contact and communication has been happening and increasingly happening for twin flames. And so the reason I'm talking about a cold start is that for myself and for a couple of others that I know directly because I coach them, that these cold starts have been a little bit frustrating. Now, I grew up in the Motor City. I grew up right outside of Detroit. And so cars for me are really special. And I know that's going to sound really weird because if you didn't grow up in Detroit or around Detroit, like that's going to sound super weird. But like everything about everybody in that area, like most people when I was growing up worked in the automobile industry, my father included. So it's like everybody had a job directly or indirectly that had to do with the automobile industry. So for me, like going to the auto shows every year with my dad and just like seeing ancient cars, old cars, going to the Henry Ford Museum is just something like that's so integral as a part of my life. So I actually love cars, and I'm kind of a like I don't know a lot about car mechanics, but I really do. I really like cars. So I will always more or less find my way around giving some kind of car analogy. And I do that in all my books too. I think in all my books, I give some kind of car analogy, automobile, right? Analogy. And so a cold start. So if you grow up in a cold state or a cold country, you know what a cold start is if you have an automobile that is gas powered. So my first car was a Volkswagen Rabbit, which is kind of like a Volkswagen Golf. I guess it predates the Volkswagen Golf. It's a little compact car. And I think I had a diesel. Yeah, I think my Rabbit had a diesel engine. And when you're getting to really super cold temperatures, a car has a hard time to start in cold temperatures, especially an older car, especially a car that's not fuel injection. And so a cold start is when you go out in the cold and it's freezing and you crank the engine cranks and nothing really happens. And so you kind of have to wait a few minutes, try it again, wait another few minutes, try it again. The car is not a fuel injection car. Then you have to pump the gas to get some fuel in the line in order to start that car, especially on a cold start. Now, another thing is that if you pump the gas too much, then you flood the line. And then you have to wait another 15, 20 minutes to actually start your car until like the gasoline goes back down the line. It's very frustrating when you live in colder temperatures. So that's called a cold start. So meaning like you can't just go out there in 20 degrees -0 and just start your car and expect it to go, especially when you're dealing with an older vehicle. And I feel like the twin flame journey as we are coming into reunion, and most of us have had these fantasies about reunion being like running through the meadows with your twin flame, and like your twin flame is here and you're here and it's a green meadow with all these beautiful flowers and the sun is shining and like it's in slow motion. You're just like running toward each other and this really happy reunion. And the reality is a lot different than that. I'll tell you that right now. The reality is a whole lot different. And so most of us have had these fantasies of just like, oh my God, I've waited so long. My twin has waited so long. There's been so much anticipation, so much fire and heat, and so much energy that's been expended in the 5D, 3D, whatever, that when my twin flame and I come back together, it's just going to be like a spark and reignite, and everything is just going to move forward successfully. And that hasn't been my experience. I don't know if that's been your experience, but that hasn't been my experience. It's been more of this like herky-jerky start of, it feels more like a cold start, right? It feels more like you crank the engine, which is basically like those first conversations with your twin flame after some time. And it might like, you might hear the engine, you know, it's like the, you hear it and then nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. And then you have to wait a few minutes and try again. And it feels like you're having a conversation with your twin flame, divine masculine. I'm just speaking on my part, right? And then it's just like, yeah, okay, like plans and moving forward and this and that. And then nothing. Nothing is happening. And so I think the frustrating part in that is just trusting in the process and trusting that things will move forward when it's time for them to move forward. And this cold start, I don't know. I'm not God. I don't know. The cold start, I really feel, is kind of more symptomatic of the vestiges of the last few items needing to be worked through in each person's respective personal journey. So perhaps when you have this cold start with your twin flame and you have these conversations that seemingly are moving forward and you make plans or you create these scenarios that are like, okay, this is forward moving momentum. We're grooving. We are moving forward. And then you have that false start of like nothing after that. It can really leave you confused because you're like, I don't understand. Like, the engine was going, the engine was running, and now nothing. So that's a little bit of what I've been experiencing in the past few weeks is exactly that cold start. Now it is winter. I don't live in Michigan anymore, but it's that cold start. And so it can feel very frustrating because you're wanting to move forward. You're ready to move forward. You're raring to go. You're all packed and ready to move forward in this journey. And it seems like your twin flame is ready, willing, able, raring to go, the same, kind of ready to move forward with something. And then they stop. and you're like, what the heck? So, if I go back to my car analogy, I feel like when you're trying to get a car to warm up, and, you could even put like blankets over your car. You can make sure all the snow is cleared off your car, all the ice is cleared off your car, and that kind of helps the car warm up a little bit. Put blankets over your car. And I have a feeling that the twin flame that is starting cold needs some time just to warm up. And so it can feel almost like more of the same from the past in a way. And I think that could be a point of frustration for myself and for others that have felt this cold start, where it can feel like much of what has happened from the past. And so those things can feel like triggers. And I think I now have the wisdom that I didn't have before. And that wisdom that I did not have before is that it's not like it was before because I am not like I was before. So because I am not like I was before, it can't possibly be like it was before because I'm a different person. And so if you're a different person than what happened before with your twin flame, then your twin flame is likely to be in a different place and space as well. And if you did not yet check out the channeling I did for the Twin Flame Collective, I did a really interesting analogy, or the angels did rather, not me, did a really interesting analogy to help explain this concept. So I'll put that link here so you can check that one out. And I feel like I am a different person and my twin flame is a different person. So this cold start, even though it feels really crazy dumb, because you're like, why is it like all systems go? And then it's like, okay, now the engine's dead. It feels like it's dead. Now I have to call AAA, get that battery to go or something. I guess AAA wouldn't work if your engine was dead, right? The battery just might be dead. So it's like all systems go and then nothing. And so it can feel like, dang, this feels like before. Like, why does this have to happen? And I really do. I feel like I'm in a different place. My twin flame is in a totally different place than he was before. And so I have faith that like it's going to work out. It doesn't make it easier because, would I like to be in that grass-covered meadow covered in flowers under the sun, running in slow-mo toward my twin flame? Yeah, I would. I really would. That's the way I'd like things to happen. Instead, they're happening like a cold winter morning in Michigan. And that doesn't feel very good because I don't like winters. So, that leads me to the last thing I want to say. And I'm a little sniffly and I don't want to get you sick through the camera. I'm not sick. I'm just teasing you guys. I'm not sick. It's just getting a little windy too. It's funny because, you look back to how far you've come. I look back to how far I've come on this twin flame journey. And it's interesting to me when I get comments on my channel about when people say to me, not a lot, I'd say 2%, 98% of you guys are super supportive and nice and kind and generous with your comments and likes and just feeling a part of the community. So I'd say 98% of you guys are like that. And I'd say there's a 2% that they're just kind of hanging on to the past. And here's why. This is what I say when hanging on to the past. I get comments sometimes where they're viewing my videos from 2019 when I started. Well, I started this journey in 2018. I didn't start posting videos till 2019. And they're like, oh my God, your videos from 2019 were so great, so informative, so magical and sparkled. And now what happened to you? I'm like, dang, that's cold. Well, what happened to me is I grew. I'm not the same person I was back then, right? Thank God for that. Thank God for the fact that I'm not the same person. Because it's not that the information that I was giving in 2019 and 2020 was bad. It's not that. It represented information of what was going on in my twin flame journey at that particular time. So it's good information because for someone who's embarking upon their journey and just beginning, they're going to experience much of the same things that I was experiencing in 2019. But God, can you imagine if I had stayed stuck in that 2019 energy? That would be horrible. Just because it's so difficult in the beginning. And I think just for example, if you take out a really bad loan, if you take out a really bad loan or even just a mortgage, if you look at mortgage payments, you pay your interest up front typically, right? You pay all your interest up front. So you're not paying a lot on your loan in the first few years or even the first decade of paying off a mortgage. And so if you're smart, you'll make extra payments on your loan, even a few dollars, because then you're paying off more principal balance. And I feel like it's the same way on the twin flame journey. I feel like you have to pay your interest up front. So the first part of the twin flame journey is so hard because you're paying that interest up front. And then you can start paying your principal balance and things start to level off a little bit. You get more equity, right? You get more equity in your twin flame journey. And so thank God I'm not back in 2019 because I was paying all that interest up front. And now I get to pay, it's paying off because I have more equity in this journey. So thank you for watching my old videos. If you're watching them, because I think they're great. Honestly, I look back at some of those old videos. I'm like, damn, how did I have that wisdom back then? But I'm just in a different place now. So if I seem different, if I act different, it's because I am different. Thank God for that, right? Thank God for growth. Thank God for me being a different person than I was in 2018, 2019, because stagnation equals death, right? Death and decay. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. Thanks for subscribing to my channel below. Click on that bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this video with other twin flames. And thank you so much for your support of my YouTube channel. You can buy a book or 2 or 3. You can join a boot camp or meditation course. You can also join my group coaching. The link is below. And I will see you in the next video.